Hey guys, in celebration of our 1-year anniversary coming up, we're hosting a giveaway over on our Twitter at @ThoseNerdsCast. We've got a prize pool of things we've talked about over our first year in podcasting. Our big ticket item is a Nintendo Switch Lite with a copy of Fire Emblem Three Houses. In addition, we also have some wonderful art from our friends that we've made over our first year, like a gorgeous Miles Morales print from our former co-host Kazel, who you can find on Twitter at Kazeloo, Cazeloo, and KazelR, Cazelr on Instagram.
We also have a Wicked Vampire Ghost playmat from James Buscema. That is at James Buscema, spelled JamesBousema on Instagram and Twitter as well.
From our resident Kingdom Hearts expert Samantha Badger at Sammykins, SAMIIKINNSS. We have a wonderful Kingdom Hearts print featuring all of their leading ladies.
From Kat, which is at LacyKArt, LACYK_ART on Twitter. We got a very kawaii SpongeBob charm.
And finally, for art, we have a Joker print, and then that's Joker from Persona 5, and Mume from Kabanari and the Iron Fortress from the lovely Fabu Castle. That's FABUCASTLE on Twitter and Instagram.
We also have a bunch of other prizes, including a copy of the Ice Nine Kills album, The Silver Scream.
There's also copies of both the Adventure Zone graphic novels by the McElroy family and art by Carrie Peach. And our latest edition, a copy of the Overwatch, the official cookbook from Chelsea Monroe Cassell, which has over 90 Overwatch-inspired recipes. And another new edition, an amazing Lapis Lazuli print from Steven Universe by the wonderful S.J. Miller, or Sir. You can find her on Twitter at S.J. Miller Art. That's SJMILLERART. And that's also on Instagram. If you want a chance to win all this, make sure to head over to our Twitter. That's once again at ThoseNerdsCast. And see the pinned post on how to enter. The deadline is October 22nd, people. Hello, listeners, and thank you for joining us today on Those Nerds Over There, the podcast where we celebrate and discuss all our favorite nerd-themed content. We are your hosts. I'm Alan.
And I'm Sal.
And Sal, how's your Inktober been? I beat you to it this time.
That's cheating? You did the intro. It's been great. I am definitely feeling the tolls, though.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah, it reminds me of NaNoWriMo, where this, midpoint where I'm like, oh no. Can I go on?
You can, so we just gotta push through a little, and then you're gonna hit your artist high.
Yeah, but it's been going great. More importantly, the weather outside is lovely right now.
Oh my gosh, yes, I was just gonna say, we're at the point where I've traded in the basketball shorts and the tank tops, and I'm now in my lounge pants and, bathrobe.
Yes, I've been wearing all my flannels. It's finally flannel season.
Woo!
Sucks I've been hearing a lot of other states. It's been really cold.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I learned this last winter that it was one of the northeastern states. Now I can't even remember, but they have things called eyeball freeze warnings.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, where the wind is so cold that if you don't wear goggles, your eyeballs will freeze over.
That's scary.
Yeah, so thank you, Vegas weather.
Yeah, I know it sucks for a lot of the people that are experience these cold snaps, but for us here who live in the desert, it's actually been really nice.
Oh, but for anyone out there, stay safe.
Yes, definitely.
Backtrack to Inktober just for a second. I just wanted to say that Jessie mask that you had with the Arbok.
Uh-huh.
I wish I had that because I could totally kill that look.
Oh. Thank you. I was really proud of that mask. Something I learned though, because I always have to look up a lot of pictures of these people that I'm drawing.
Mm-hmm.
People really have a thing of Jessie with wet hair. That's like a whole genre, I guess.
Sal, I wasn't ready to learn things today. This is just the intro. I wasn't ready to learn things.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I did not expect to come across it, but I did. Surprisingly, James's side of Google had a lot more clean stuff.
Oh my god.
But anyway.
Anyway, yeah, Inktober's going great.
Yay. My Jessie has regular hair.
Dry hair. All right. Let's go to this jar so I can forget about this.
Yes.
All right. For first-time listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. This is what we call the Nut Jar. It's a jar filled with listener-submitted questions that are fun, nerd-themed questions. If you want to shout out on the show or have like a fun question, feel free to send those to us on Twitter at ThoseNerdsCast or our email thosenerdscast@gmail.com. If you do, be sure to include some kind of social media tag so we can shout you out. Without further ado. Ooh. Since these are like color-coded like jelly beans, I know this one's like a newer one.
They're supposed to be nuts.
Alright, so this question comes from my friend Gerard. He doesn't actually have social media, so... Hi, Gerard.
Whoa.
I know. I asked him, hey, what do you want shout out? He's just like, just Gerard's fine.
Alright.
Yeah, but Gerard asked, what is the one thing that you did in life that made you realize, quote, shit, I'm an adult, unquote?
I'm an adult. Oh, God.
I don't know if I had one thing. It was kind of just, it's been multiple reminders, I guess.
Most of the time, I'm still questioning whether or not I am an adult, so...
Oh, I know I'm not. I'm just, I'm a bigger child, essentially.
We're all children now.
No. Should I just go first?
Yes, if you have something in mind.
Well, like I said, I had like multiple moments of this realization. The first one had come my first year in college. It was like second or third night I had moved to Seattle, and I attended a freshman orientation event, which was like a midnight carnival. And it got a little loud and intense for me, so I ended up leaving and walking home. And I was walking through the campus, and it was pitch black, and I was all alone. And the thought occurred to me, like, hey, I could die right now, and no one would know. And that kind of was my first realization that I'm an adult out here in the real world now.
That's dark.
It is. It is. I know that.
So you realized you were an adult because your mom wouldn't necessarily be looking for you when you didn't come home or something?
I guess so.
Okay.
I know that when you put it like that, it sounds more childish than I would have liked it to. But yeah, basically. The second time ended up being when I finally moved into my first apartment and had to sign that lease.
Ooh.
And then paying bills monthly. I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah.
This is like, I have a name on property now.
Yeah. I feel like that would definitely be a point where I would say, yeah, I'm an adult. I haven't actually experienced that, despite me living in multiple houses.
You've never had to sign paperwork?
I did sign paperwork once, but I mean, I just filled out a thing And usually when I pay rent and stuff, it's like whoever's collecting the bills, I just give them the money and they do all of it.
Ah, okay.
So
I hadn't been the one paying the rent, but I was the one people sent the money to for like the internet and the water and stuff.
Yeah, I was never that person. I was always the person just giving the money.
And then my most recent like realization that I'm an adult was when I had moved back this past summer. And I started taking care of my grandma and working a job, and now I'm also paying, bills for my family. And I'm just like, well, shit, I'm a functioning member of society now.
Nice.
Yeah. So I hope that puts a more happy ending to the first realization.
Yes. I think the first time I thought I was an adult, it's weird because I feel like I had to grow up pretty fast in life, so it's hard for me to pinpoint. But I do remember specifically when I moved into an apartment with a couple friends once, and it was when I like first got my car, and my insurance person called me, and we were discussing like the best insurance I could have or whatever. And I was just talking insurance with someone on the phone and not just giving my parents insurance money. And so I think that was like, oh crap, I'm an adult. I have to figure out my own insurance for myself.
Dang. Do you mind me asking, when was that?
This was when I was like 19.
Damn, Sal.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm back again on like someone else's insurance, so I'm just giving insurance money to someone else. But
but still, you already went through that.
Yeah, so it was kind of a surreal thing because I was like, I have to do this myself. What am I doing? I don't know.
This is the stuff they never teach us. When I had to go and get my credit score for renting, that was a whole fiasco, and they never teach us any of this stuff.
Yeah. And like the first time I did my taxes, I was like, what am I doing?
Oh my gosh.
So.
Oh my god, we're adults, Sal.
I know. That's another depressing note.
I constantly go back and forth on this, where it's both depressing but also amazing.
Yeah.
Because I am also so much happier now than I was in like high school or whatever.
Oh man, I could not picture myself going back.
No.
It's like, how did I do it?
Oh my god, yeah. Like maybe we were more resilient as high schoolers too, though.
Yeah. And I remember this thing because I know people will say, like, your first year in college, you're, like, always getting ready. And then by your, like, second year, you're just going to class in, like, sweatpants and stuff.
Oh, that was me since day one, though.
Of course. But that's your aesthetic.
Yeah, that was me since middle school.
I remember in high school, I would shave and straighten my hair every morning.
Oh, wow.
And I barely shave once a week now. And I don't even do anything with my hair. So, like, I can't imagine going back to, like, doing any of that.
to preppy Sal?
Yeah, God, that sounds awful.
Oh, man. Damn. I'd love to know, listeners, like, this is a really, I guess, life personal question, right?
Right.
But I'd like to hear about, like, when y'all kind of had that realization.
Yeah.
You know, we're all at different points in our lives, but it's nice to kind of evaluate and see where we're at.
Yeah, and we all, like, felt like adults at different points in our lives, too, so.
That's true. You very early. Before we move on to what got us excited this week, we want to take this moment to thank our patrons. So, Eloy, Sus, and Neil, thank you so much for supporting what we do, for supporting us and doing this each week. Eloy, thank you for playing Apex with me despite me sucking. Sus, I hope you feel better. I just learned that you got sick. And Neil, was a good job. I'm so proud of you, and you got a very bright future ahead of you. So, Sal.
What up?
What got you excited this week besides wet hair?
I don't know. I don't think that's my aesthetic. This week I got excited about a book.
Literature.
I know. It's very exciting. I think I tend to read a lot more when I need inspiration, and since NaNoWriMo's next month.
Ooh, won't that be fun right after Inktober?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds exhausting, but I'm so ready to win this year.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm gonna join you. You know that.
Yeah.
We'll keep each other motivated.
Thank God. I'll need it. So yeah, in kind of preparation for Nano, and also I've been really wanting to read like more dark fantasy for whatever reason.
Could that be perhaps from influence by a certain new friend?
I mean, we have more than one friend that are into dark fantasy, but no, I don't think so.
Oh.
I think it's my obsession with like magic systems.
Yeah.
And so I was like, let's explore what this is on the darker side of magic, right?
Oh, damn. Okay.
So I was looking for some nice dark fantasy novels, and I came upon this one, and it's called Bloodleaf. It is YA, so
of course.
it is dark, but because it's YA, it's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I guess you don't take it as seriously.
It's edgy dark, right?
Yeah, it's like edgy dark.
I love that intonation you put on edgy.
But it is called Bloodleaf. It is written by Crystal Smith and was published on March 12th of 2019.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, which actually makes it one of the most recent books I've read in a long time. I tend to read books or hear about them like years after they come out. Somehow I just happened upon this book and jumped on the bandwagon early.
Nice. So wait, did you just read this over the past week, or?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
So it's been maybe like a week and a half.
Okay, still, it takes me a while to finish a book.
Yeah, normally it does take me like a long time, but I don't know. I've just gotten on this kick. Sometimes I'll get kicks and read through books fast. But it is also the first book of a trilogy, so the next book is scheduled to come out sometime next year. I didn't get an exact date. I'm very rarely waiting for a next book, so that's kind of exciting.
Ooh.
So, Bloodleaf is about a princess named Aurelia who lives in the kingdom...
Ionia.
Right. It's Aurelia with a U.
Ah.
Not I, so haha. She lives in this kingdom called Renault, and it is ruled by this heavily religious organization called the Tribunal, whose sole purpose in the world is to eradicate magic. So that's fun. So anyone who shows any signs of magic or is even accused of having magic usually gets executed by the Tribunal. And it's usually like this very public, like, witch hunt style thing. And so as it turns out, our main character, Aurelia, is gifted with magic.
Oh no!
Oh no! And although she is the princess of this kingdom, she is not really safe from the Tribunal's grasp. So after like a decent job of staving away the Tribunal's suspicions, everything comes to a head when she is forced to use magic to save someone's life. So the Tribunal get like wind of this and go after her. But to protect her, her family and some other mages bind their lives to her. And then she is like forced to run away because the Tribunal use this as like as like incentive to overthrow the throne, essentially.
A coup.
Yeah, which kind of sucks. So Aurelia is forced to run away alone, and she ends up in this kingdom called Zan, and their kingdom is like, it is protected by this like barrier of magic, and when she gets inside, she learns that they're very tolerant of magic.
Oh, thank goodness.
At the same time, she's being hunted down by the tribunal, who's like trying to kill her, so she ends up having to take on a fake name and pretend that she's like not a princess, so she's trying to adapt and survive to this new society. Unfortunately for her, that even though she finds herself in this city that she thinks is like great, she figures out that some like very dark and twisted things are happening in this city, that even though magic is accepted, it might just be like as corrupt or more corrupt than her own city. So, you know.
That's very real.
Yeah. So that's the premise of the book. And I really enjoy it because the character of Aurelia, or Emily, since her name is Emily, she's faking to be this girl named Emily for like almost the whole book. So she's like so competent as a character.
That seems very strange for a YA book.
I know, it's so refreshing. In my search to find this dark fantasy, I read another book recently called Wicked Saints, and that had a female protagonist as well. And that girl, like, I did not like her. She was very, like, lovesick and very incompetent. So when I read this book, I felt such relief, because this is a girl who is constantly, like, doing whatever she can to help the people around her and to figure out everything she can about magic that she thought first was bad, because her whole life she was told that it was evil. But when she figures out that it's not, she's like doing everything she can to use this magic to help people, because the magic in this book, or at least for her, she is gifted with blood magic, so she needs blood to use whatever kind of spells she wants. But blood magic usually is kind of looked at as like a darker magic, so when she figures out that it can actually be used to like save people and stuff,
like healing?
Not necessarily healing, although there is moments where you figure out like what a bloodleaf is, and that has like healing properties. So,
oh, so that does bring up the question: what does the titular bloodleaf have to do with the story?
Yeah, so a bloodleaf is a type of plant that it comes about when two people die and their blood is shed on this leaf. This leaf turns into a bloodleaf, and it has like very special healing and killing properties. The ironic thing is, two people have to die to create something that can save a life.
2 for 1.
Yeah, so
damn. Okay.
It's this thing that people use a lot to either kill or save lives. So it comes up a lot in the book, but it's not really, I can't really say anything else without like spoiling like what it does for the story.
That's fine. I do. But answer this: is it like a cure-all?
If someone is like already like dead-ish,
what the? If they're dead adjacent.
If you've been stabbed in the heart, right? You're like kind of, you're done. But if you're kind of on the brink of death, so like someone was dying from like giving birth, then it can save them from that. So it's kind of vague in what it can save and cannot save, but it's definitely not a save all. There are times where it's like, yeah, they're too far gone.
Okay.
So, but what she does, she figures out that blood magic can be used to like shield herself from being detected, or the spell that binds her life to others. It can do stuff like that. It is the magic that was used to erect the wall that are the barrier that like protects this kingdom. So it can do a lot of good, and she's figuring out ways that it can do that. It's also used to it can help with crops and stuff, which is weird, but
okay.
So she figures all this out, and she uses it to stop this person that's kind of like trying to take down the wall. She's just trying her best to use this thing that she first thought was evil to help as many people as she can. And she also has the special ability that is only specific to blood mages who can kind of see dead people. But yeah, so she uses it to like give closure to the living, and she also can use it as like sort of like premonitions of people that are about to die, so she can try to help stop it.
Oh wow. Okay, so she's also psychic.
Yeah, in a way. So she can see the spirits of like the people that are like dead. But yeah, I don't know. It's just this very interesting story, and the magic is a little wonky at times because you don't know necessarily all the rules.
So this is a very soft system.
Yeah. So I think it's weird for me because I just really like hard magic systems, but it's nice to... The great thing about soft magic systems is that when things do happen, it's like super spectacular and like, oh wow, that's so cool. Whereas in like hard magic systems, you know what can and can't happen, so you're not very surprised. So
okay. So then, I guess I kind of want to know in general then what makes for a better story, I guess? It just seems like for hard magic system, it's a little more difficult because now you're stipulating a lot more.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the kind of story you're trying to tell. If you want like a very if you're trying to tell something more serious and it being very grounded, then a hard magic system works a lot more. But if you're trying to make something more like spectacular, then that's when a soft magic system comes more in handy.
So I want to know what about Aurelia/Emily's sidekicks in this story, or mentor figures? What do we have for these?
Okay, so for most of the story, the side characters are Zan and then Kate and Nathaniel.
Oh.
Zan is the child of who was going to be her mentor, and his name was Simon, but when the coup happened, he stayed behind to help.
Simon did.
Yeah, Simon did. So she ends up meeting Zan later when she gets into the city, which I think I missaid the city. The city's name is Aclava.
Okay, cool. I'm just like, is he named after?
Yeah. But so he's a noble, and the story is very slow to develop their relationship, and a lot of times they're kind of at odds with each other, but he's the very like witty character that's like very privileged.
Oh, okay. Is he enjoyable?
Yeah, he's very enjoyable because...
Okay, good.
Yeah, because the king in this city is like kind of corrupt, and so he's kind of like this rebel who is handing out, to get into the city you need like a pass from someone related to the king to get past the barrier.
What the hell?
Yeah, and so he gets a bunch of these passes and will go out of the city and like give them to people. So he's pretty cool. And then Kate and Nathaniel are the other two characters that are in most of the book, and they're a married couple. Nathaniel is Zan's bodyguard, and so he's kind of like a hard character where he's I don't want to say he's like brooding all the time, but he's always has like people's best interest, and he's always on the side of caution, I guess, when going into things.
Strong, silent, and stoic.
Yeah. And then the girl, Kate, who is Nathaniel's wife, she's the very motherly character who, because she thinks Aurelia is just some random like street girl. She doesn't know she's a princess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's like doing everything she can to kind of nurture, quote unquote, this girl into the city and give her like a place to stay and food to eat and teach her how to live in the city and stuff. So she's like the most kind-hearted character you can write.
So you know something bad's gonna happen to her.
Exactly. But yeah, that's kind of the cast of characters. Zan and Aurelia are usually doing magic things, where going off doing adventures, and then Kate is kind of like staying in the background, and then Nathaniel is the one like in the shadows, making sure everything's kind of going okay. I like them for the most part. I wish Nathaniel in particular had more things to do.
Oh.
But Zan is like he's kind of like a Sylvain, but he doesn't hit on everybody.
Ooh, okay.
So
I like that already.
Yeah, he's like this very witty, happy-go-lucky guy who doesn't like he definitely cares, but he doesn't show that he cares about things. So he's
a tsundere.
Yeah, he's super cool.
This spawned 2 more questions for me just now.
Yes, go.
1. So is this a found family story?
I would very much say so.
Ah, amazing.
Yeah. She definitely doesn't have anybody when going into the city, right? And at first Zan just uses her for her horse, because she has this horse called an Imperium, and it's a special horse that is only given to like royalty, right?
Mm-hmm.
And its blood has like magical properties.
Okay.
So he tries to like buy the horse off of her when she enters the city, but then when that doesn't happen, he like steals it. So at first he's just kind of like using her, but then when he figures out like not who she really is, but why she has the horse and why she's trying to protect people, then they grow to like each other, and then they meet Nathaniel and Kate, and they all become like this family because she has no one else. Her whole city is under attack right now, so
I love it. That's so cute.
Yeah.
All right, the second question then, adventure-wise. So is this more like urban adventures, since they're in the city, or the adventures like take place outside the city, out in the wilderness?
Yeah, it's definitely urban adventures. It's all done inside the city of Aclava.
Okay, you're gonna need to let me borrow this book later.
It is urban, but it's definitely like they are using swords and stuff. There's like no guns or anything.
The story sounds lovely, Sal.
Yay. But yeah, it's a breath of fresh air for YA novels. The love story is very much in the background, and it's more about like the mystery of what's happening in the city and this girl trying to discover who she is like as a blood mage and stuff. And you know, you're surrounded by a lot of wholesome characters, and she's trying to figure out what it means to be not a princess.
We're all trying to figure out what it means to not be a princess.
Speak for yourself.
I will then.
All right. So yeah, it's been great. I love it. Also, I learned when kind of researching this book a little bit, like who the author was and stuff, I learned that it's actually kind of a retelling of this story called The Goose Girl,
Goose Girl?
It's one of the Grimm fairy tales by the Grimm brothers, but I've never heard of it and never read it, so I don't know what it takes from that and like, uses it. So, but if anyone's interested in that or knows of the Goose Girl and is like, oh, this story sounds like that, that's why.
Yeah, you gotta let me borrow that book, and I can give you Shadow and Bone if you want to, because that's also kind of dark fantasy.
Oh, yes.
But I guess warning, the protagonist isn't super competent. But it's...
You told me she gets competent, right? Later?
She does, okay. But I think it takes a while.
Got it.
Maybe like 1.5 books in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Alan.
Hello.
What did you get excited about this week?
Alright, so this week I got 2 kind of short things put together make a very happy Alan.
Ooh, perfect.
Alright, so the first thing I got excited about was Zombieland Double Tap.
Okay.
Alright, Sal, do you know about this movie or did you ever watch the original?
I watched the original. I loved the original. I seen the trailer for this second one. Is skeptical.
Oh no, okay. Well, for listeners who don't know, Zombieland Double Tap, it is sequel to 2009's Zombieland, written by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, I don't know if he's German. Sal, and did you know they're also the writers of Deadpool?
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, you see it now,
I do see it.
Zombieland Double Tap features Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, Abigail Breslin, and Bill Murray, all reprising their roles from the first movie. And the writers are joined by David Callahan, who, in researching has, I guess, a kind of skeptical past, but he is currently also writing the screenplays for Shang-Chi for Marvel and the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse for Sony.
Whoa.
Right? So I'm like, I might use Zombieland Double Tap to kind of gauge how well those other 2 will do. Maybe that's unfair, but we'll see.
It is a bit unfair, but it's the same person, so...
Alright. Now, Sal, I also saw the original, and I fucking love Zombieland, the first one, so much.
It is a treasure.
It's so good. Like, ironically, though, I had avoided watching the movie in theaters.
Oh, no. So, when it came out, this was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Jeez. When it came out, I was in high school, right?
Same.
And I actually went to the theater, and we snuck into the theater.
Oh,
it was
my
rated
God.
R.
This movie was rated R?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And we got caught. So we got kicked out of the theater, me and a bunch of friends at the time, and I had to go back the next day.
You went back the next... You're a hooligan, Sal. I never knew.
No, but I went in legally the second time.
Wait, hold on. You turned 17 the day after?
No. The day after, I had my mom go in and be like, "Hey, I'm buying these tickets for my son."
Okay, I see.
Yeah, because I was like, stupid theaters. Just let me watch the rated R movie. Anyway, I was the opposite. I had actively avoided seeing the movie in theaters, actually. Did you think it was going to be scary?
I did. I remember seeing the movie. I was not in high school, because this was 2009, actually. So I just recalled I was about to go into high school. Anyway, I thought it was scary. I saw the movie poster up at the Palms Casino, and I, thought it was going to be scary because it had the word zombie in it, and the picture was just like a very washed out gray color movie poster of the flaming world and then Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson.
Right.
Anyway, but later I actually ended up watching the movie on television on FX, and that's when I fell in love with it.
All right.
Yeah, and Oh my god. For anyone that has never seen this movie, because understandably it is from 2009, if you saw Deadpool, you know, it's got all that like awesome meta humor that we got in Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a zombie movie that came out before, you know, just the complete saturation of that genre. So, I don't know. I watch it and it just doesn't feel tired.
Yeah.
You know?
Thanks, The Walking Dead.
So, Zombieland Double Tap is coming out on October 17th. It's the day after this episode drops.
Oh, snap.
Hell yeah. And the movie takes place 10 years after the original. And I've seen the trailer, so I'm not very skeptical. It looks just as fun as the first one. It just looks so fun.
My problem is the original is so much fun, right?
Right.
So this one needs to be like more fun.
No, it can't be equally fun.
But I've already had that fun.
Sal.
These metaphors are off.
Sal, this is the reasoning for drug addiction.
I mean, you're right.
Oh my god. But yeah, that was the first thing I got excited about.
Nice.
Second thing is Monster Hunter World.
Okay, so these things aren't related.
No, they're not. So have you ever played any games in the Monster Hunter series?
None.
Okay, this is my first also.
Okay.
Okay, so Monster Hunter World is the latest entry into the Monster Hunter series and actually came out on PC at least a year ago.
All right.
Or over a year ago. It was last August. But I've had it sitting in my Steam library since it launched.
I mean, that's me in most games. Go on.
Well, here's the thing. I couldn't play it. Or I haven't been able to play it.
Right.
Yes, that's right. I haven't been able to play it until this past week. Till our precious, precious friend Hughes came to visit us. And he gave me his old computer. So thank you so much, Hughes. You've always been there for me for my computer issues and just like my life issues also. Mm-hmm. I love you so much. But Sal, this game is fucking wild. Okay. The premise of the game is that you're just a hunter and the game you hunt are these giant dragon-like monsters. Simple premise, true to the name.
Right.
The combat system is crazy. There are 14 different weapons that all are viable, and you pick one. They all have such vastly different play styles, and I'm a bow main myself, because bows are badass.
You right.
Yeah. And you just go around fighting these epic creatures, and it's just so incredibly hype. Like...
Is there a story?
There is. I don't care much for it.
Got it. It's more of the gameplay.
Yeah, oh my god, dude, this gameplay. Every fight feels so intense, and I'm literally screaming, because I'm not very good at the game. And the fights, they're just constantly coming at you, and it's all this shit flying at you, and you gotta dodge, and you gotta attack, and you gotta manage all of it, and it's so fun, and I'm terrible at it.
I could just picture you just being like, oh crap, oh crap.
Oh, yes, that's me. Right now I'm at a point where I'm actively injuring my left hand playing this game because I'm gripping the controller too hard because I'm like just stressed out during the fight.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
I'm using all these like really these words with such negative connotations, and it's weird, but it's like it's that good kind of stress because it's such a wacky game.
Yeah, now you know why I love Don't Starve so much.
Yeah, but I just wanted to mention, I'm playing with my friends Jeff and Gerard, and it's the same Gerard that gave us the question at the beginning.
Hey, what up?
Hey! And God, Sal, this game is just it's so much fun with your friends. It's just a fun romp.
I have heard reviews about this, or I've seen reviews, and people have said, like, it's great to play with people, but the multiplayer is weird.
Did they specify weird in what way? Because I have...
Like, it's hard to do multiplayer.
Okay, yeah, it is. It's not the simplest way to configure for multiplayer. It's not that, like, the servers are bad or anything. It's just kind of, you have to go through a few sub-menus.
Yeah, it seems weird. Like, why couldn't they have just made, like, a lobby or something?
Right, and, like, look, this is from me playing the game, and I have to set up the lobby every time. I don't mind it. We have so much goddamn fun.
Fair enough.
Like, the moment we're in it, like, we are in it.
Yeah, and I've definitely heard about, like, as soon as you get past that, you're just hit the ground running.
Yeah, it's that, like, that's definitely there. Like, it's tedious to make multiplayer lobbies in Monster Hunter World, but that's such a small gripe. It's nothing.
Nice.
Yeah, but admittedly, I'm also not super far into the game quite yet, because I got caught up on side quests.
Hey, I mean, it's an RPG.
It is. But there is also a pretty big expansion coming out in January. That's like it's those massive expansion type DLCs. And it's completely winter themed, and it has me pretty stoked that I'm trying to make sure I catch up in time for it.
I mean, January, you got some time.
I have 2 months, man.
You got some time.
But those were the two things I got excited about this week.
Nice.
Thank you.
I was asked to play Monster Hunter World, but...
And what stopped you?
People?
What?
And anytime someone asks me to buy a game, I always feel like I'm buying the game and will play it for just a little bit and then stop it. Like, and I just spent $60 on this game. So, I don't know. I'm always very hesitant. I guess that's why I buy a lot of solo playing games, because I don't want to waste my money and not play it with people. But anyway.
No, that's totally valid. I have that too, because, like, that $60 has been, like, the standard for a while, but it still feels like quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
And, when we do multiplayer games like this, it's like we're buying a social obligation.
Yeah. And the problem is, because we're adults and we have conflicting schedules.
Sorry.
That's why I stopped buying board games, because we play like twice a year now.
We need to meet up and record us playing a board game. Sus has been saying that forever.
Yeah, and it's definitely a thing we need to do. Board games are just so fun.
Board games. All right. Folks, that is what we got excited about this week. Bloodleaf by Miss Crystal Smith, and Zombieland Double Tap coming out October 17th, and then Monster Hunter World. Sal, this one felt like a good week.
Yeah, and it was a very diverse set of topics, which I always love.
But that's going to be hell coming up with this title.
Yes.
Listeners, thank you so much for joining and enthusing with us. If you like what you heard, consider sharing it with a buddy so you guys can nerd out together, because sharing is always one of the best feelings when you're talking about stuff you love. If you'd like to help out the show, then a review on our iTunes and our Stitcher pages. They go a long way towards podcast visibility. If you have any recommendations for the show, feel free to put them in the comments of our SoundCloud page. I'm talking things we should check out, show improvements. If you want to see pictures from our convention coverage, you can find that on our Instagram. There's lots of cool cosplay, along with the cosplayers' Instagram if you want to follow them, because they post pretty cool shit daily. If you like what we do here on Those Nerds Over There and you want to help produce the show, then consider becoming a patron. It's thanks to the support of people like Eloy and Sus and Neil that we get the privilege to make this show each week. And finally, if you want a place to hang out with us, then feel free to join our Discord. We have dedicated channels for topic discussion, show improvements, nutjar offerings. Links to all these pages can be found on our website, thosenerdscast.wixsite. That's wixsite.com/home. Before we plug more stuff, we wanted to remind you that we're running a Twitter giveaway for our 1-year anniversary. New additions that just got added today is a wonderful print from our friend Sir at SJ Miller Art on Twitter and Instagram. It is a lapis lazuli print from Steven Universe.
Yes, and I had to kindly ask Alan to stop adding things to the giveaway like a madman.
This, look. This one I had to do. We lost an episode a few weeks back, Sal, and in that episode, I talked about my love for Steven Universe.
Oh,
and
that
we
was
lost
that episode?
It was that episode.
How tragic.
And the other night, I was just sitting in my chair, and I was singing Steven Universe songs, and it just dawned like, damn it, it's not right. This isn't right. If I don't include something.
So you were correcting an injustice.
Exactly. So, Sal, I ask that you forgive me for my excess, for my lavish choices.
You are forgiven, just don't do it again.
Okay. Sal, do you have anything to plug?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Salzik if you want to follow my interesting Inktober stuff. That is where to find it.
They're very good.
Thank you. I'm also at Salzik on Twitch. Inktober has been killing me, so I have not been streaming, but I'm going to try. Try is the key word.
Underscore.
And then at my blog, gotamoment.com.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at ArielEyes_. I post dumb memes, and I hope I can brighten your day with those. It's also a good way to get in contact with the show, or you can always contact us at Those Nerdscast. That's also where you can enter the giveaway, folks. Remember, it ends October 22nd at 12 p.m. PST. Thank you again so much for joining us this week, and we will see you again next Wednesday.
Goodbye.